I'm 42, and up until a few weeks ago, I thought I had a decent life. I'm not rich. I don't drive a luxury car. But I work hard, I pay my bills on time, and I help the people I care about, even when they don't deserve it. My wife, Monica, and I had been together for 12 years. We live in Akron, Ohio. No kids, though we tried. After a couple years of doctor visits and dead ends, we stopped trying. She said she was fine with it. I pretended I was too. Monica has a younger brother named Ricky. He's 34 but acts like he's still 22. Same dumb jokes, same fake charm, same excuses. Always broke, always unlucky, always someone else's fault. Over the years, I've watched him burn through every lifeline he had. First it was his parents, then friends, then whatever poor girl he was dating. And eventually it became me. The thing is, I didn't even like Ricky. Never did. I tolerated him because Monica asked me to. I figured if I showed him respect, maybe he'd grow up. But that never happened. Let me tell you what broke me. 3 weeks ago, Ricky showed up at our house out of nowhere. I had just gotten home from work. Monica was out with her friend Danny. I was on the couch, drinking a beer, watching the Browns screw up another lead. The doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. There he was, sweating, eyes darting around, like he was being chased. "Jason, man, I need help. Please." I didn't move from the doorway. "What kind of help?" He took a deep breath. "I owe some people. Serious people. Loan sharks. I was trying to flip electronics, you know? Make a quick buck. I fronted some money and the guy bailed. Now I owe 10 grand. I stared at him. He looked like he hadn't slept. His hands were shaking. They said if I don't pay by Friday, they're gonna come to my job or worse. I can't go to jail, man. Monica can't know. She'd flip. I didn't say anything. He kept talking. "I'm not asking for a handout. I'll pay you back. Swear to God. I just need to get these guys off my back." I should have shut the door. But I didn't. I went into my savings and wired him the money the next morning. He hugged me. Said I saved his life. 2 days later, I saw him at a gas station walking out of a liquor store with a tall bottle of vodka and a big smile on his face. He jumped into a Dodge Charger with 2 guys and peeled out. It didn't sit right. The next day, I got a call from my buddy Eric. He works security at a casino in Northfield. We used to coach Little League together. "Hey," he said, "your wife's brother's been coming around here a lot." "Ricky?" "Yeah. Real loud guy. Thinks he's a big shot. Last week he was bragging about scamming easy money off a family member." I felt sick. Eric said he couldn't confirm anything more than that. But I already knew. I waited for Saturday. Ricky always came by around noon to eat whatever Monica cooked and act like he owned the place. He walked in wearing sunglasses, making dumb jokes. I didn't waste time. "What did you do with the 10 grand? He blinked. "What? You didn't give it to a loan shark. You spent it. Probably at the casino." He laughed. "Damn, you really fell for that." Then he smiled and said it, dead serious. "You're just a wallet with legs, man. That's all you've ever been." Before I could even react, Monica walked in from the kitchen. I guess she heard us. She crossed her arms. "What's going on now?" I turned to her. "Your brother scammed me. Lied about needing 10 grand. He used it to gamble." She didn't even flinch. "You gave it to him. Nobody forced you." I was stunned. "Are you kidding me?" She sighed. "You always do this. Everything turns into a fight with you." My jaw clenched. I felt heat rise in my face. Ricky just smirked like it was funny. "I've done everything for you. For this family," I said. "No one asked you to," Monica replied. "You act like a martyr. Maybe you should stop keeping score." I didn't say another word. I walked out the front door, got in my truck and drove. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't sit in that house another second. I ended up in a Walmart parking lot, just sitting there. I thought about the money, the years, the way Monica looked at me like I was the problem, like I was dramatic for being angry someone lied and stole from me. That night I came home late. She was asleep. I didn't wake her. I packed everything quietly. My clothes, my laptop, my tools, my birth certificate, passport, and my savings account statements. I didn't touch anything we bought together. Not the TV. Not the couch. Not the dishes. She could keep all of it. Before I left, I printed the wire transfer receipt from my email, folded it into an envelope. On a scrap of paper, I wrote, "A wallet doesn't need a house. Good luck." I left it on my side of the bed. I got in my truck and drove into the night. No calls. No texts. I blocked them both. It didn't take long for my phone to start buzzing. But I never saw it. I tossed my SIM card out the window that night before checking into a cheap motel about 40 minutes outside of Akron. Someplace off Route 21 near Canal Fulton. Old, smelled like mildew and cigarette smoke, but it was quiet. I needed quiet. I paid cash for 3 nights. Spent the first day just laying on the bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out what the hell my life even was anymore. No one knew where I was, and for the first time in years I didn't have to pretend to be okay. By the second day, I bought a burner phone. Left it off for the most part. Just needed something in case of an emergency. That's when things got weird. Monica showed up at my job. I used to work as a mechanic at a garage just outside of downtown Akron. Good place. Honest work. The guys there had my back, always did. One of them, Nate, called me that afternoon. "Dude," he said, "your wife came by. She looked pissed. Said she needed to talk to you. Started yelling when I told her you quit." I hadn't quit, but I hadn't been back either. I told the boss I needed time off. He understood. Said I could come back whenever. But now Monica knew I wasn't just hiding for a night. That evening, I turned on the burner phone. There were 5 voicemails from unknown numbers. 3 of them were Monica. One was her friend Danny, telling me I was scaring Monica and acting like a coward. The 5th one. That was Ricky. He sounded drunk. "You think you're better than us? You think walking away makes you strong? You're a joke, man. A boring little man with a boring little life. Monica deserves better." That one I listened to twice. Not because it hurt, but because I wanted to remember every word. The next day, my bank account got locked. I'd moved most of my money out already into a separate account I'd opened the morning I left. But the joint account Monica and I shared suddenly had a hold on it. I called the bank. "Looks like your wife reported suspicious activity," the rep said. "We had to freeze the account until it's cleared up." Suspicious activity? I hadn't even touched that account since I left. All my auto-pay bills came from there, including Monica's car payment. She was trying to freeze me out. She wanted to punish me for leaving. I wasn't surprised. But I was pissed. I didn't respond. I didn't call her. I didn't beg. I just watched. A week went by. I started working at a small auto shop in Canton. Under the table for now. The owner didn't ask questions and I didn't give answers. I needed to stay low, think things through. Then one night I got a message from an unknown number. It was a picture of Monica and Ricky sitting at some restaurant, both smiling, wine glasses in their hands. Her arm was around his shoulder. The caption underneath said, "Family first." No name. No context. Just that. I stared at that picture for a long time. Not because of what it showed, but because I realized something. Monica had always chosen Ricky. Every time. When he wrecked her car, I paid to fix it. When he got fired, I found him work. When he stole from her purse years ago and she cried to me, I convinced her not to call the cops. And she always forgave him. But not me. Now, it was like I never existed. I didn't reply. I saved the picture. Filed it away. Not because I needed proof, but because that was the moment something in me switched off. The next day, I started calling lawyers. I talked to 3 lawyers that week. The first 2 sounded bored. Gave me the usual lines about property division, waiting periods, marital assets, all that. I wanted someone sharper. Someone who wouldn't just file forms. I wanted someone who understood betrayal. The third lawyer was different. Her name was Carol Dempsey. Office in Massillon, near the courthouse. Late 50s, no nonsense, the kind of woman who looked like she'd been through hell and come out swinging. She listened. Really listened. When I explained the money, the casino, the voicemail, the picture, everything, she leaned back and said, "You got used, over and over. But we can work with this." She told me something I didn't expect. Since I paid off Ricky's supposed debt with marital funds, and since Monica had knowledge of it and didn't stop it, I could push for reimbursement during divorce, especially with proof. That wire receipt, that was gold. "Now," Carol said, What do you want from this? I thought about it. I don't want her money, I said. I want peace. And I want them both to feel what I felt. She nodded. Then we hit them where it hurts. Not just legally, socially. Let's talk strategy. What she laid out next was smart. Subtle. No drama, no big explosions, at least not at first. Her plan was simple: keep quiet, keep everything under the radar, and collect. She said if I filed too fast, they'd circle the wagons. Hide assets. Spin the story. So I stayed silent. Over the next few weeks, I lived like a ghost. I moved into a small trailer a friend of mine owned out near East Sparta. Fixed it up. Started working full-time again. I paid cash for everything. Changed my mailing address. Set up a P.O. box. I also started reaching out to people Monica and I knew, old friends, neighbors, people from church, mutual contacts. Not directly, just casual conversations. Asking how they were. Eventually, I'd drop in something small. Like, yeah, things have been weird. Ricky's gambling problems finally caught up to him. I guess Monica helped cover it. I didn't lie. I let them connect the dots. People talk. And I made sure to stay quiet just long enough that when Monica finally started telling her side, it sounded like damage control. Then came the real twist. One morning I got a call from my old garage boss. He said something was going on at the shop. Asked if I could come by. When I got there, he pulled me aside and showed me something on his phone. It was a Reddit post. Someone had anonymously posted in a local Akron subreddit. The title? My husband abandoned me after I helped my brother with a debt. Now he's trying to ruin my life. It was Monica. She didn't use names, but everything was there. The money. The fight. Me leaving. She made herself the victim. Said I was emotionally abusive, controlling, and paranoid. Even accused me of cutting her off financially to punish her. I laughed out loud. Right there in the shop. Because I knew she was trying to beat me to the narrative. But it was too late. The comments were brutal. People tore her apart. A few even guessed who she was. One person said, "Wait, isn't this the same Monica whose brother got kicked out of Hard Rock for throwing chips at the dealer?" I didn't respond. Didn't post. Didn't message anyone. Instead, I gave the link to Carol. She grinned. She just gave us leverage. Public lies? That's defamation material. Not strong enough for a full suit, but enough to scare her. I let Carol move forward with the paperwork. Quietly. No formal filing yet. But she had it all prepared. Then, one night, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered. Jason. It was Monica. Her voice was shaking. Why are people saying things about Ricky online? Why is everyone looking at me weird? I didn't say anything. I saw the wire receipt, she said. You left it on the bed. I didn't know it was real. I thought you were bluffing. Still, I said nothing. I didn't mean to pick sides. I thought you'd get over it. You always do. I hung up. She called again. Left a message. Said she missed me. That things had gotten out of hand. And Ricky had left town for a while. Apparently, he got into a fight at a different casino. Word spread. Now he owed real money. It was falling apart faster than I expected. The last time I saw Ricky, he was being shoved into the back of a police cruiser outside a mini-mart in Cuyahoga Falls. But let me back up. After Monica's call, I didn't respond. I let her stew. Carol filed the divorce paperwork quietly, without warning. The sheriff delivered it to her door 2 days later. Monica didn't expect that. She thought I'd cool off. She thought I'd come crawling back like every other time I'd let her brother slide. But I was done. In the petition, we asked for reimbursement for the $10,000 I gave Ricky, half of our joint savings, which I already had copies of, and removal of my name from any shared debts, including her car loan. We also requested a lien against the house if she refused to settle. The house was in her name, but I had put thousands into renovations, repairs, and taxes over the years. I had receipts for everything. I didn't even ask for alimony. I just wanted her to feel the ground shift. 2 days after she got served, I got another voicemail. This time, Monica was crying. I didn't think you'd actually do this. Ricky's gone. He left town. Said he's in trouble. There are people calling my phone threatening me. I don't know what to do. That was the first time she sounded scared. Turns out Ricky had borrowed from a guy he met at the casino, someone who wasn't just some backroom loan guy. The kind of man who doesn't leave voicemails. He promised to pay back $15,000 in a week. He lost it all trying to win big. Now he disappeared. Monica was left holding the bag. Ricky listed her address as his residence on some shady paperwork. Suddenly her phone and email were full of threats, notices, and friendly reminders to get Ricky to pay up. Meanwhile, Carol had filed a fraud complaint with my bank. Monica's attempt to freeze our joint account backfired. The bank reversed the freeze and we flagged her for misuse. She lost access within 48 hours. They even charged her a penalty. I found out Monica started borrowing money from her dad. She tried to hire a lawyer to push back on the divorce demands, but that lawyer dropped her after 2 weeks. Probably because he figured out she couldn't pay. She tried using her credit cards to stall, but Ricky had already used one of them behind her back. She only found out when the statement showed a charge from the Horseshoe Casino in Cleveland. Then came the best part. One of Monica's friends, Danny, reached out to me on Facebook. She didn't realize I was still using an old account I'd never deleted. She sent a message. "You were right. Monica lied about everything. Ricky is on the run. Cops came by asking about him last week. She said you ruined her life. But she did this to herself. I'm sorry for what I said before." I didn't reply, just screenshotted it and sent it to Carol. That was enough to push us into mediation instead of a court battle. Monica caved quickly. She agreed to pay back half the $10,000. Monthly payments, no interest. The house? She kept it, but agreed to cash me out for the repairs and back taxes close to $14,000. I waived any claim to her family inheritance just to keep it clean. But she had to cover her own legal fees. And she agreed in writing to no contact. 1 week after the settlement, Ricky was arrested outside a gas station. He was drunk, trying to use a stolen credit card. The police flagged him from an outstanding fraud complaint and a parole violation from a previous charge he never told us about. He's in county jail now. Might do a couple years depending on how the court sees it. I didn't gloat. I didn't visit. I just moved on. I used the payout to buy a used Ford F-150, paid off my debts, and moved into a small rental outside of Worcester. Quiet place. Honest work. No drama. I started seeing someone a few months later. A woman named Rachel. Widow. 2 kids. Tough as nails. Runs a small bakery downtown. She doesn't ask for much. Doesn't expect me to fix her life. We just sit on the porch some nights, drink coffee, and talk. It feels real. Sometimes people ask why I left the way I did. Why I didn't scream or smash things or burn the house down on my way out. I tell them this because the most painful kind of revenge isn't loud. It's clean. It's patient. It's letting people fall on the swords they sharpened themselves. I was a wallet with legs once. Now I'm just a man who finally walked away. And that's enough.